but something causes us to do things, right? And you could call it a satisfaction, you could call it a connection, you could call it feeling of wholeness. And so then here we are discussing this stuff, right? And so then more than discussing, okay, I'll just take off now. Because like Jerome said, his two sons were his greatest teachers, and he's had many great teachers, you know. So then the whole idea that we're discussing something and then that's going to somehow feed back into our life, or somehow our life's going to open up to be a greater contribution, let's just say. And so then we're propelled to go and listen to Eckhart Tolle or some teacher, or we go to gurus or masters, or, you know, I'm just saying, well, what are these guys what are they doing basically? What is a teaching doing? And, you know, what I'm thinking as a teacher, and what he does is he holds a greater space than our little limited space, because we have our beliefs about ourselves that are also from this thousands of years of distorted principles. You know, it's a collective for sure. And somehow we're in that little fence, right? And then this master, he's got a bigger fence, or maybe no fence, or something like that. And then when we go into his field, our little fence seems kind of ridiculous, and then we think, whoa, and start to break down, right? And so then we're going to people, and we're in also what Giri said about our intention in seeking out the other is just to connect. Right? Mm-hmm. And we're connecting to break down our limited barriers and immerse ourselves in this greater field, which may be unlimited, but, you know, that's just an idea, you know, like an idea, that's just a kind of a continuation or an extrapolation, let's call it. So then we stay with this master for a long time, you know, and I'm going on Facebook more now, and I'm finding that certain people that are pretty well in a groove, you know. And they get to be experts of the master. And, you know, I've listened to a lot of people where, a lot of teachers where I could almost, any question that comes, I could answer, I could be their voice. I'm their mouthpiece, because I know exactly what they're going to say, right?
I often know what Eckhart is going to say.
Yeah, you know what Eckhart's going to say. I know what he's going to say too. I could answer all those questions. And I put my own twist on it too. But anyhow, what I'm saying is that, okay, like we go to the master because he holds this bigger context, right? And then, that breaks our limited context down. And then at a certain point, we start believing his context is the truth, and we can parrot everything he says. And at that point, his context is creating a barrier for us. We can't go beyond that, you know. Like I was on with a Yogananda guy the other day on Facebook, and he was starting to tell me, we're just a dance of light and dark, right? And what we do is we look over our shoulder and see there's a projector there. And so then I said, that's great. You're probably the light. So then you like that story, but bring me one guy that's in the dark and let him say that story, you know. Anyhow, so then it's time to move on. Right? Or we have to be our own master, or we have to look at everything ourselves. But there is a point, I'm just saying there's a point where a teaching becomes a new barrier and not a breaking down of our existing barriers. And it may not be the teacher's fault, because he wrote a book and he, you know, the book started at A and went to D. He could probably write another book from D onto, G or something like that. You know, but anyhow, he's attracting a lot of new people, and then he's processing up to a certain point and then pushes them out, right? And so then, have we left all the teachers that we should be leaving?